I'm Jason Robinhood, and these are the stocks of the day for Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022. Okay, so it is currently 1:42 p.m. here in Las Vegas, Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022, and we are going to go over the stocks of the day. It was a great day in the stock market. All three major indexes were positive today. The Dow Jones was plus 224 points, currently trading at 35,629. The S&P 500 was plus 42 points, currently trading at 4,589. The Nasdaq 100 was plus 71 points, currently trading at 14,417. The VIX currently trades at a 22 handle. The 10-year currently trades at a 1.77, and let's see where Bitcoin is at. Oh, Bitcoin is actually down almost 4% today. Not a good day for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is currently trading down all the way down to 36,000. I believe the below was like 35,000. So you want to keep an eye on that. 35,000. $64. So you want to keep an eye on that. If Bitcoin breaks that, we may have problems with Bitcoin. But in this series, we go over the top 5 performing stocks from each of the major indexes. As I mentioned, all 3 indexes were positive today. So we're going to go over about 15 stocks. Let's see how do we get there. We're going to start off with the first 5 stocks from the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones was positive 224 points. The first stock we're going to look at for the best performance stocks in the Dow Jones is Travelers. Ticker. Oh, wow. Unfortunately, we're still in earnings season, so we had really negative earnings from not from Alphabet, but from Meta, Facebook, as some people will know it as. So Facebook is. Let's look at Facebook first, so I could see why. Show you why this may not be the greatest day in the stock market. Unfortunately, Facebook is down. Facebook is currently down 20% right now. So Facebook is taking a lot of the stock market down with it, and had really bad earnings report that they just released. So a lot of these stocks are going to be negative in the after hours market. So let's try to go back to Travelers and see what happened there. Yeah, Travelers was kind of positive today. It gave back almost all of its gains in the after hours market today after its earnings report. Travelers is still up 20% for the past year, so it's averaging a little more than 1% return per month. Not a bad sign. And Travelers is up 42% the past 5 years. So a good sign for long-term investors if you've held Travelers for longer than 5 years. And Travelers pays a 2.08% dividend. Travelers, the best performance stock in the Dow Jones today. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the Dow Jones is ticker symbol UNH, United Health. As you can see, United Health actually held all of its gains. It was up 2.43%. Today, United Health is the largest component of the Dow Jones because the Dow Jones trades on a price basis. And United Health, being $479 a share, is the largest component of the Dow Jones. United Health is up 42.33% the past year. I believe the Dow Jones is only up maybe like 10% the past year. So United Health has clearly doubled, tripled, maybe even quadrupled the Dow Jones returns in the past year. One of the best performing stocks in the stock market. And for the past 5 years, United Health is up 194.45%. An extreme bull move for long-term investors. And United Health pays a 1.20% dividend, UNH. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the Dow Jones is PG, Procter & Gamble. As you can see, Procter & Gamble was up 1.79% today. It gave 0.15% back in the after-hours market. It didn't give back too much in the after-hours market. Pretty good sign. For the past year, Procter & Gamble is actually up 25.27%. That's a good sign. And for the past 5 years, up 87%, almost 100%. A really, really good sign for long-term investors. You can see the low was basically all the way back here in 2018. It hasn't retested these lows since 2018, and the low was about $72 a share, almost $100 above that price. And Procter & Gamble does pay a 2.18% dividend, PG. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the Dow Jones is ticker symbol MSFT. I wonder if this stayed positive. Let's see. Microsoft did hold its positive on the day. It was up 1.52%. During the day, gave 0.63% back in the after hours market, probably off the Meta moves. For the past year, Microsoft is up 29.12%. So it's clearly doubled, maybe tripled the Dow Jones performance for the most part. And for the past 5 years, Microsoft has almost returned 400%, 375.26% return. A good return for long-term investors. A beautiful chart if you're a long-term investor. And Microsoft pays a 0.74% dividend. Microsoft. And the last stock we're going to go over for the best performance stocks in the Dow Jones is Cisco. Ticker symbol CSCO. A pretty good sign here. You have to like when the stock is up in the after hours market. Cisco was up 1.44% and it gained a little bit in the after hours market, 0.39%. So that's a pretty good sign for Cisco. For the past year, Cisco is up 23.88%. If you're looking for the highs in the stock, that happened basically the end of last year, December 29th. That number was $63 a share. So you want to keep an eye on this stock the next $7 if you are a long-term investor, if it could break that $63 a share top. And for the past 5 years, if you've been a long-term investor in Cisco, it has returned 82.87% return for the past 5 years. A really good sign. And Cisco pays a 2.67% dividend for dividend investors. If you're looking for a Dow Jones company that pays a 2+ dividend, Cisco is probably on your watch list. So those were the 5 best performance stocks in the Dow Jones today. As I mentioned, the Dow Jones was plus 24 points, currently trading at 35,629. Obviously, we want to keep an eye on that 629 points. If we can hold that, we could be trading up to 36,000. That would be a great sign for the Dow Jones. The next 5 stocks we're going to go over are for the S&P 500. As I mentioned, the S&P 500 was plus 42 points today. Let's see what stocks got us there. First stock is a ticker symbol here, Google. GOOG. Google. I don't know if it's alphabet A or C. Is it the same? I have no idea. I don't know what's the difference. I can't even see. But let's go with A just because it's A. Google was up 7.52%. As you can see, it gave 1.81% back. That is definitely based off the Meta move, the earnings report of Meta in the after hours market. Alphabet did release earnings yesterday, so that's why Alphabet is up over 7%. Alphabet had really good earnings report, unlike Meta, which clearly is bringing the market down a lot. But people bought Alphabet a lot today, but they are selling it almost 3% in the after hours market. That's not a good sign. So we have to keep an eye on Alphabet and Meta and most of the entire market, and especially the Nasdaq stocks tomorrow. Alphabet is up 51.48%. A pretty strong move for Alphabet the past year, over 50% in a year. That's an extremely strong move. And for the past 5 years, Alphabet is up 246.21%. Alphabet does not pay a dividend. But if you're looking at this price and saying this is way too much for one share, Alphabet did announce yesterday during their earnings report that they will be performing a 20-for-1 stock split. So this stock would go from basically $3,000 a share all the way down to about $150 a share if you are looking to buy shares of Alphabet. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the S&P 500 is PKI. Okay, PKI, as you can see, this is a really good sign right here. This stock was up 6.22%. It did not give a single percent back in the after hours market. That's a great sign. This stock is up 20%, pretty bullish, 20.72% in the past year. In the past 5 years, up 254%. I have never seen the stock before, so I'm going to add it to my watch list. That's a really good sign, especially being up 6% tomorrow. I'm expecting a lot of sell-off tomorrow, so if this stock can stay positive, I may add a share or two to my portfolio tomorrow. I really like this chart, up 254%, 254.50% in the past 5 years. That's a really strong sign. And it pays a tiny 0.16% dividend. Ticker symbol PKI. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the Nasdaq in the S&P 500 was ticker symbol MPC. MPC was up 6.05% today. It gave almost 2% back in the after hours market, 1.38% in the after hours market. The past year, this stock has gone parabolic, up 74.21%. An extreme bull move for this stock. What is it? It's up 20% in a month. Wow. And for the past 5 years, this stock is up 57%. So you could average about 10% average for the past 5 years, 10% average per year return. Not a bad sign. And this stock pays a 3.13% dividend. I would add this to my watch list, but it gave back 2% in the after hours market. I'm not expecting it to do too much, but for the long term, I may keep an eye on ticker. You know what? I'm going to add it to the watch list. I'm going to keep an eye on this stock. I really like that return, and I really like a 3.1% dividend. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the S&P 500 is ticker symbol ODFL. Old Dominion Freight Line. Old Dominion Freight Line was up 5.89%. It did not give a single percentage back in the after hours market. That's a great sign. For the past year, this stock is up 61.52%. So a really strong bull sign, over 50% return in a year for a stock. And for the past 5 years, this stock is up 439.89%. A really strong sign from this stock. I may add this stock to my watch list also. I may add a share of this one to my portfolio tomorrow. And this stock does pay a 0.26% dividend. ODFL, Old Dominion Freight Line. And the last stock we're going to go over for the best performance stocks in the S&P 500 is ticker symbol EA. EA was up 5.56%. It gained 0.09% in the after hours market. So that's a good sign for ticker symbol EA. EA is a part of the Nasdaq 100. So that's a good sign. That's one stock that's not selling off in the after hours market. But EA, unfortunately, is down 6% for the past year. So it's clearly underperforming the S&P 500. S&P 500 was up maybe about 20%. So this stock is down at least a quarter under the market performance. Not a great sign. But up 65.50% in the past 5 years. Clearly averaging over 10% return per year for the past 5 years. And EA does pay a 0.52% dividend. EA. So those were the 5 best performance stocks in the S&P 500. As I mentioned, the S&P 500 was plus 42 points, currently trading at 4,589. We want to keep an eye on those 89 points. If we could hold those 89 points, we could be looking at 46,000 on, not 46,000, 4,600 on the S&P 500. We want to keep that number in mind. The next 5 stocks we're going to go over are for the Nasdaq 100. The Nasdaq 100 was plus 71 points today. And let's see what stocks got us there. First stock we're going to go over is ticker symbol AMD. AMD, as you can see, unfortunately, was up 5.12% today, but it gave back almost 3% in the after hours market, and it's still giving back even more, 2.16% in the after hours market. I don't understand why AMD is down for Meta. That's surprising. AMD released earnings yesterday, and AMD had a really, really good earnings report yesterday, but now the stock is selling off today, unfortunately. But AMD is still up 35.73% for the past year, so that's a pretty good sign for AMD. I believe the Nasdaq 100 was up maybe 10% last year, so AMD is about 3 times what the Nasdaq 100 is doing. And clearly, an extreme bull sign for long-term investors of AMD. This stock is up 1,032.05%. You could say an average of over 200% return per year. Really, 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 really great long-term stock for long-term investors. AMD, unfortunately, does not pay a dividend. AMD does not pay a dividend. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the Nasdaq 100 is ticker symbol XLNX, Xilinx. Xilinx was up 4.87%. That's a good sign. It did not sell off anything in the after hours market. That's a great sign. Xilinx is up 52.14% in the past year, so it's clearly outperforming the rest of the stock, the Nasdaq 100 and the rest of the stock market by 4 or 5 to 1. And if you're a long-term investor in Xilinx, the past 5 years, Xilinx has returned 256.05% in the past 5 years return for long-term investors. Xilinx does pay a dividend, a 0.19% dividend for ticker symbol XLNX, Xilinx. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the Nasdaq 100 is ticker symbol IDXX. IDXX was up 4.03% today. It did not give anything back in the after hours market. That's a great sign. Unfortunately, this stock is only up 5.93% the past year, so it's clearly underperforming the Nasdaq 100 and the rest of the market. But for the past 5 years, Xilinx is actually up 339.44%, so that's a really good sign for long-term holders of IDXX. And IDXX, unfortunately, does not pay a dividend. Next stock for the best performance stocks in the Nasdaq 100 is ticker symbol LRCX. Lam Research. Lam Research was up 3.78% today. It did not give any of that back in the after hours market. That's a great sign. Up 19.37% in the past year. So clearly outperforming the Nasdaq 100, basically double the Nasdaq 100 performance. And clearly a long-term investor's dream. Lam Research was plus 423.87% the past 5 years, almost plus 500% in the past 5 years. A pretty strong bull long-term investor chart. Ticker symbol LRCX. Let's see if it's Lam Research. Lam Research almost pays a 1% dividend, 0.95% dividend for a $600 a share stock is not a bad sign. That's a pretty good sign for Lamb Research. And the last stock we're going to go over for the best performance stocks in the Nasdaq 100 is ticker symbol TXN, Texas Instruments. Texas Instruments was up 3.61% today. It did not give any of that back in the after hours market. That's a great sign. For the past year, Texas Instruments is only up 8%. Kind of choppy, very choppy up and down line, with the stock averaging less than 1% return for the past year. Basically in line with the Nasdaq 100, but basically still underperforming the Nasdaq 100. But for the past 5 years, if you were a long-term investor in Texas Instruments, this stock has returned 142.31% in the past 5 years. So a pretty good chart for long-term investors. And Texas Instruments does pay a 2.39% dividend. So some pretty good dividend paying charts we've seen today. So I'm Jason Robinhood. Did you discover any new stocks in this video? Do you have any great performing stocks in your portfolio you would like to recommend to myself or the other viewers of this video? I'm Jason Robinhood. These were the stocks of the day for Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022. Stay long in the stock market.